We often treat the Adamic fall as a story of purely theological significance, yet its meaning reaches far beyond theology. It calls us to question why agricultural practices have been in constant evolution, undergoing at least four major revolutions. The phenomenological cycle, the cascading interplay of experience, noema, intentionality, and noesis, explains how agricultural practices have evolved from the simplicity of the Garden of Eden to the complexity of modern practices. But beyond the phenomenological cycle, one critical question remains. Why has agriculture always been an ever-evolving field of experience and practices? Husserl's answer to this question is both simple and profound. Every time we expand our circle of certainty in agriculture, every time we invent a new technology, adopt a new method, or solve a practical problem, we do not eliminate the unknown. Rather, we create a larger circle of uncertainty and thus a larger territory for new methods, new technologies, and new practices. This is what I call the paradox of the certainty-uncertainty cycle. It is the engine that powers the phenomenological cycle. As we master one portion of the world, we do not close it, we open a larger space still waiting to be mastered. Neil deGrasse Tyson captures this paradox perfectly when he says, as the area of our knowledge grows, so too does the perimeter of our ignorance. Husserl would say that we undergo a horizon shift, a movement from the limits of what is currently understood toward the open and determinate space of what could be understood next. The horizon is always two things at once: the boundary of what is familiar and an invitation toward what has not been yet experienced. Therefore, every time we determine one part of the world, we revealed an ever greater field of indeterminacy beyond it. This is why the Adamic journey never ends. We are not moving toward a final solution. We are expanding the very universe of what it is possible for us to perceive, to practice, and to become. This dynamic is clearly exposed by the Irish famine of 1845. For the Irish farmer, the potato, practiced as monoculture, was the ultimate circle of certainty, a stable, predictable horizon of survival. But when the blight struck, that certainty collapsed, replaced by a vast and terrifying perimeter of uncertainty. The famine marked a moment in which the natural attitude, the taken for granted belief that the earth and the potato were a single unbreakable promise, was suspended. Suddenly revealed were the hidden and determinate sides of the potato world, the fragility of monoculture, the cold logic of colonial markets, and the necessity of scientific observation and investigation. In that rupture, the famine became something crucial, one event with multiple meanings, depend on social position. In Husserl language, it became a plural noema. The famine did not produce one response, but a collision of different ways of seeing and acting, different noetic act, different horizons. For the British administration, the famine was understood as an economic variable, a problem of governance and markets. The natural attitude was laissez-faire economics, the belief that the market obeys a self-correcting law of nature. So their response was not humanitarian relief, but a shift from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture. For scientists like Hendrik and Tandy Berry, the famine was understood as a biological pathology. His response contributed to the emergence of phytopathology, the science of plant disease. For Irish families, the famine was lived as catastrophe. The acts were those of survival, migration, and grief. And for the Irish farmers, the response was crop diversification, a transformation of agriculture practice itself. This collision is precisely why agriculture never stagnates. Crisis forces a radical horizon shift that can never be undone. We did not merely solve the problem of blight caused by Phytophthora infestans, we expanded our consciousness to include global ecology, political economy, and systemic vulnerability, creating a new, even larger perimeter of uncertainty for future generations. And today, scientists are thinking in terms of digital plant pathology. God's warning about the sweat of the brow did not disappear. It changed form. The Adamic journey continued. Thank you for watching this episode of the PhiloScientist. The way we intend a famine as a variable to be managed or a catastrophe to be survived is not new. So next, we will explore the convergence of the Noema, comparing the Irish famine Noema to that of the Egyptian famine under Joseph's administration. My name is Paul Salikot Cogito.